A special day for the Indiana Fever ended in a successful victory. A wire-to-wire win for the Indiana Fever Tuesday night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. 77-60 was the score, and just a magnificent game from them all around. They matched physicality with physicality. They responded every single time. It felt like Atlanta made a run. They were perfect at the free throw line, 15 for 15. They made 4 times as many threes as they did in the first game, just 2 of 15 in game 1, finished 8 of 19 in this one. I'm Scott Agness of FieldhouseFiles.com. Thanks for tuning in and checking this out. Do one after every single Fever game, and what a game it was for this Fever team. Getting off to a good start yet again, up 20-14 after one. They had made 3 of 6 3-pointers. Atlanta 0 for 3. Then some silliness started to happen. Aliyah Boston called for a second foul after Bree Jones flopped a little bit, and that sent Brianna Turner into the game early. Michaela Timpson, who played just a minute, I think 22 seconds last game, was the first sub into this game. Lexi Hall dealt with foul trouble throughout most of this one, and the Fever continued to add to their lead. They used a 10-2 run to get up 30-19, and that's when you started to sense that this game was a little bit different. This one, they would maybe be able to hold on to versus game 1, where in that second quarter, everything flipped quite a bit. And what it was most of all was defense, the defensive intensity. They were in their passing lanes. They had active hands. They were swarming the Atlanta Dream. All in all, just a suffocating defensive effort by the Indiana Fever, holding the Dream to 38% shooting, 5 of 19 from three-point range, and the Dream never really got comfortable.
I mean, our aggressiveness, our attention to detail, our ability to contest without fouling, to be disciplined, in that area, I thought was huge. We played good enough defense down there, and our offense just couldn't get going, and we were able to get it going on both sides tonight. I continue to just be so proud of this group and their resilience, their toughness, and their ability to respond.
Fever were able to have a balanced attack in this one. As I said, they made 8 threes, but they also were successful in the paint. They outscored the Dream by 2 in the paint. I thought it was important for Aliyah Boston to get going and assert herself. So many times she's utilized at that point guard and the distributor at the top of the arc and trying to organize things, but it felt like she said, screw it, I'm taking it myself, and did so for a couple plays in a row before those foul calls that disturbed what she was doing just a little bit. At a quick, I think, 8 points. But overall, that balance is important. The three-pointers open things up inside and vice versa as well. And so to have that balanced attack, to have Kelsey Mitchell come in, do what she does, had 19 points in this one, didn't even need to play in the fourth quarter. Aliyah Boston, 15 points, 5 rebounds, several assists to lead the way as well. At one point, those two had totaled 30 of their 50 points. You're going to go out with your top 2 players available, and that was certainly the case, I thought, in this one for this Fever team. Really strong effort by Boston inside.
I think for me, just continue to be assertive, just reading the defense, trying to get good possessions going. If I just get the ball, feel it out, see where the ball needs to go next, whether that's shoot it or pass it, I'm just kind of just taking what the defense is giving me.
Yeah, they wanted to establish her early. I think we did a pretty good job. Defensively, we had a few breakdowns, with a couple runouts for layups, but in the half court, we were pretty good defensively. We held them to under 80 points, and they're a good offensive team. We just had too many dry spells on offense, and we just couldn't ever really get it going. And we credit their defense, but we're going to have to be better offensively next game.
After the game for the Dream, head coach Carl Smesco, first-year head coach, tried to keep it upbeat, certainly spoke of some optimism going into Game 3.
Indiana, a lot of credit. We know they'd come out and be competitive, and they've been resilient all year, and they were very good today, and they made us pay for our mistakes. We got off to a bad start, but I thought we could make a run in the second half, and we did. To close the game to a single possession, but they made a nice run at the end of the third, extended it, and then we kind of decided that we would get ready for the deciding Game 3, where I think I got a lot of confidence in this team. I I truly believe we'll play our best game of the series next game.
It'll be played Thursday down in Atlanta. No, it won't be at State Farm Arena as many fans had hoped. It'll again be at Gateway Center Arena once again. Only a capacity of 3,800. And to speak of the crowd, what a fantastic job, I thought, by the Fever hosting this event. They had a pregame party, gave out red T-shirts for a red out. They hosted Winona Judd to sing the national anthem, DJ Cool to do a halftime performance. They went all in, and for good reason. This was the first home playoff game since 2016. They lost that one. So it's the first home playoff win since the WNBA Finals run in 2015. It was Stephanie White's first year as head coach, and so it's been a decade. They needed this. I thought it was significant, notable too. Tamika Catchings sitting row one. Also on the other side, Tyrese Halliburton, a couple Colts players, Kenny Moore, as well as Zaire Franklin. And right next to them, my buddy Drew Powell, who's an actor out in L.A., who's from right here, proud Lebanon guy. But a fantastic crowd, not quite a sellout. There were some empty seats up in the balcony areas, but remarkable. Probably over 15,000 turned out for this one and made their presence felt. I think that was the most important thing. There were some back-breaking calls. There was a lot of reviews, probably about 4 or 5 of them, that took way too much time. But when there was physicality, when there was a battle, when the Fever made a couple of big runs, there they are leaping out of their seat to celebrate this one. And it had to be special, I think, especially for Kelsey Mitchell, as she hadn't experienced this, a home playoff game. And to do so and to play the way she does in helping them get to this point, they would not be a playoff team without Kelsey Mitchell. No doubt to me, she is a WNBA all-first-team member. Those selections have not been out just yet. Today, it was Paige Beckers, unsurprisingly, named Rookie of the Year. She received 70 of 72 votes in this one, but I hope Kelsey Mitchell took a second post-game, or really fourth quarter, when she was on the bench and able to be on the bench. They got up as many as 24 and could just look up around and soak in the moment at this building and all things she's been through. She jokes about the barn, playing at Hinkle, playing at other venues, and now, ever since Caitlin Clark came here and changed everything, both with this franchise and the WNBA, one of those players that has benefited and maximized it and thrived off this crowd and put on a show is Kelsey Mitchell.
I think it took a collective group effort to be able to be here, and I think that our first win here was big for us because we've been resilient throughout the course of the year, and it was just, I don't know, it felt really good to see ourselves on top and do something great for a change. When it comes to us being resilient, have to fight off a lot of ups and downs, backs and forth, and so it felt good for us to really, come out on top tonight.
Now, it was a lower scoring game, which I think favored the Fever in this one. A defensive battle. The referees were letting them play, which favors the Fever because the Atlanta Dream, such a physical team. And Fever don't have the fouls to go around. They don't. They're playing, a handful of reserves, and that's about it. Going about 9 deep early on in the game. I thought we saw good spurt minutes from several individuals, like Ariel Powers, who is an Energizer bunny off the bench, playing with fight. A couple plays that frustrate you, right, with turnovers or a bad foul, but then doesn't she always make up for it? Like we saw underneath the basket, I think it was 2 offensive rebounds, then she was fouled, turned right to the bench, celebrated, slapped hands, chest bumped Stephanie White even.
It's like the third time, and every time I just keep remembering that I'm not as young as I used to be.
She's someone that she feeds off so much energy, and she always has a lot of energy. So I think for us, just making sure that we always match that. And I love when I see her hype up the crowd, everyone gets involved. But I think AP, just what she brings to us, that aggression, just getting after loose balls, it's great.
I thought one of the big game changers in this one is in the second half when they went on a massive run. It's something that they have struggled with, is those late game runs. Usually it's the other team pouring it on. And so in that third quarter, the Fever ran off 7 straight points, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, that was great for us. That seriously was. Scoring the ball and then getting that tip and then seeing that 3. I mean, the energy, everyone felt it. The crowd was going crazy. And we just used that momentum into the fourth.
And then they kept adding to it. Ultimately, they closed the quarter on a 19-7 run over the final 4 minutes, including 7-0 burst over the final 43 seconds, but they're not done yet. They then rattled off even more to begin the fourth quarter, leading Carl Smesko of the Atlanta Dreams to call timeout. Ultimately, it was a 28-7 run that put this one over the top and ensured the Fever would come away with the victory in this one. Again, they led by as many as 24, but I thought all the different things we've talked about this season, outside of turnovers, which was a concern and an issue in this one with 19, but the hard play, making good decisions, going to get the 50-50 balls, winning the rebounding battle as they did plus 10, winning the inside game, making all their free throws. All those were check, and check for the Fever ultimately in this one, which allowed for them to even the series at 1-1 going into Game 3 coming up on Thursday. And this was all made possible because of the change to the format that happened 2 weeks after the Fever were eliminated last postseason. I think the WNBA realized in its new world that what are we doing not allowing both teams to have a home game? The Fever last year and this year had the best crowd, had the most fans at every game, had the most sellouts, and yet they didn't get a home game. The home fans were not able to be there and support their team. And while I think the team did the majority of the work, it absolutely helped to have this fan base right there, having their back, pushing them over some tough runs, and then celebrating the big moments. Like when Kelsey Mitchell, first it was Aliyah Boston making a layup to end a quarter, but first Mitchell got a steal, tossed it to Lexi Hall for the three-pointer out on the left side. The bench erupted in celebration. Those are the moments you're going to remember, and you could tell they had a lot of fun with all of that here at the Fieldhouse.
This is a group that's confidence has really never wavered. You know, we've been in every kind of situation you can imagine, and we've been able to find ways to put ourselves in position to win, and this will be no different. Obviously, it's going to be on the opponent's home floor, but you know, it doesn't matter. I think for us, our if we can maintain our attention to detail, if we continue the defensive effort that we had tonight, and we shoot with confidence, you know, we give ourselves a chance, and this group is continued to show their heart, their character, night in and night out.
So now in this best-of-3 situation, it all comes down to Thursday night down in College Park, Georgia. Winner moves on to the semifinals here, and Fever have to like their chances. They're playing with nothing to lose. They're playing with house money, just given their circumstances, right? The Fever had 6 players unavailable due to injury. The Dream, every player was available. And while both teams having a first-year head coach at the helm of the current culture, right? Steph's obviously been a head coach before with the Fever and Sun. This is the first year for them to reset their standard, set their culture. And I'll tell you what, man, this Fever team has accomplished a lot in such a short time and with little resources in terms of players available. And I think that'll pay dividends down the road. But it'll be Thursday night. It'll again be played at Gateway Center Arena. It won't be moved to State Farm Arena, unfortunately. And that will be a big one. It'll air nationally on ESPN family of networks once again. For FieldhouseFiles.com, I'm Scott Agness reporting from Gainbridge Fieldhouse.